When I bring up divorce in front of my husband, Vito Corti, he happens to be toying with a lace thigh strap that's gifted to him by a rising adult film star. Vito, the head of the Corti family as well as the youngest Don of Emaly, orders his soldado to pick up his new lover tonight. Then he shoots a languid glance at the divorce agreement on the table. How big of a tantrum are you throwing this time, my dear Donna? I reply calmly. I didn't touch the bank card tied to the private account. I also don't want the estate in Emaly as well as the bulletproof convoy. I have already entrusted the asset management authority to your consigliere. Vito is stunned for a moment, but he still thinks I'm still throwing a tantrum. You don't want those assets? Then what do you want? My devotion? GIA. I already told you in the past that you're the woman with the highest position in the family, but it's too boring for a Don to own just one woman. He tries to reach out to feel my cheek, thinking that I'll act the same way as before, that I'll forgive him in a roundabout way after lashing out at him, but I just avoid his hand. I no longer want Vito's devotion to me. Now, I just want to leave him. Chapter 1. I dragged Vito Corti out of a pool of blood 5 years ago. On a rainy night, I was still a capo managing the docks for the Corti family. I was patrolling my territory when I found him cornered by a rival family in the abandoned container yard at the pier. Through my car window, I watched the man fighting for his life in that desperate situation. He moved like a trapped beast, every counterattack carrying a destructive kind of beauty. Eventually, he fell, just as a dagger was about to pierce his heart. My men cleared the scene, holding an umbrella. I walked up to him, my black heels pressed into the muddy ground mixed with blood as I looked down at this man covered in wounds. At the time, the Corti family faced an unprecedented crisis. The old Don was aging, and of his only two biological sons, one died in last year's gang warfare while the other despised mafia business and fled long ago to pursue art instead. Inside the family, ambitions stirred. Outside, powerful enemies circled. I'll save you. You repay me with everything you have. How about it? I asked. He lifted his head. Those dark eyes gleamed in the darkness, filled with unconcealed hunger for power and raw ambition. He didn't answer. He simply grabbed my ankle, the force so strong it felt like he wanted to crush my bones. I didn't struggle. I let him study me. I wasn't a good person. I was simply choosing the sharpest blade for myself, and he was ruthless enough, strong enough, and ambitious enough. I brought him back to the family, taught him the rules, and introduced him to the old Don, Lorenzo Corti. Vito didn't disappoint me. He even exceeded my control. He was ruthless and possessed astonishing strategic brilliance. In just 3 years, he wiped out all hostile forces and even took a nearly fatal bullet for Don Lorenzo. That was the crucial step to his rise. On his deathbed, Don Lorenzo formally adopted Vito as a son, gave him the prestigious surname Corti, and placed the family's power in his hands. In return, he married me and made me his only madre of the Corti family. At the wedding, he slipped the ruby ring symbolizing the family's highest authority onto my finger and whispered a promise in my ear. GIA Fontana, you are my life, my only woman. Back then, I believed him. That lasted until women of every kind started appearing around him, famous actresses, exotic dancers, and casino dealers from every walk of life. That was when I understood that a man's vows were laughably cheap. GIA. Look at me. Vito didn't pull his hand away. Instead, he stepped closer, his warm fingertips tracing my cheek with an almost obsessive tenderness. Why compare yourself to those people? They're nothing but passersby, distractions to kill time. He lowered his head, his towering frame completely enveloping me, his forehead pressed against mine, our breaths mingling. You need to understand, no matter how many people have come and gone around me, the only one I truly love is you. His voice was low and magnetic, laced with persuasive power. GIA. Only you're worthy of standing beside me. No one can replace your position in my heart, so don't waste your energy on those insignificant playthings. They don't even deserve your anger. I laughed. Vito, I'm not throwing a tantrum. I'm serious. I want a divorce. His expression darkened instantly. The air around us seemed to freeze. The family's underboss, Marco Santoro, rushed into the room. Seeing the tense atmosphere, he immediately tried to mediate. Madre, the Don just likes to have his fun. Don't take it to heart. You'll always be our madre. Marco used to be the person I trusted most. When Vito wasn't around, he helped me handle family business. I once treated him like a younger brother, but now even he only told me to endure. Vito shot me a cold glance and straightened his cuffs. I have business tonight. Cool down on your own. With that, he left the study without looking back, leaving me alone in the icy room. I knew where he was going, to see that actress named Juliana Barbieri, the one he called a distraction when he was bored. Chapter 2. Late at night, my phone buzzed with a photo. Against a dim background, Juliana was bare from the waist up, wearing nothing but a necklace around her throat. It was the diamond necklace Vito placed on me himself when he proposed. He told me it symbolized the madre of the Corti family. Below the photo, Juliana's taunting message read, Madre, the Don says this necklace looks better on me than it ever did on you. My chest tightened, and my breath stopped. I remembered that afternoon years ago in this very study, when Vito lifted this necklace from an antique velvet box and fastened it around my neck. GIA. Wear this, and you'll be the only mistress of my life. His gaze back then was tender and focused. Now, this symbol of devotion had become another woman's weapon against me. I gripped my phone until my knuckles turned white, consumed by one thought. I was taking it back. I changed clothes, grabbed my car keys, and headed for the door. Two towering soldati blocked my path. Madre, you cannot leave the estate without the Don's orders. Their expressions remained blank. I studied them. These men were guards I personally selected for Vito, and now they'd become the bars of my cage. My voice came out cold. Move. They didn't budge. It's the Don's orders. I pulled a knife from my boot. The blade flashed once before burying itself in the left soldado's thigh. Before he could scream, I had the blade pressed against the other man's throat. Unless you want to lose a leg like him, get out of my way. My voice carried a long forgotten edge of violence. They'd forgotten that before I became Vito's madre, I was the Corti family's most ruthless capo. Both of them went pale. They exchanged a glance and silently stepped aside. I drove to Vito's usual private club. The moment I pushed open the sweet door, lewd music and the sharp stench of alcohol hit me. Vito sprawled deep in the couch cushions with a careless expression while Juliana's dress hung half off, bunched loosely at her waist and exposing bare skin to the air. She kneeled submissively at his feet in a posture both degrading and obscene. That expensive diamond necklace wrapped around her throat while Vito wound the chain around his fingers like a leash, pulling it back carelessly to force her head up. Instead of resisting this humiliating control, Juliana smiled wider and obediently lifted her wine glass to his lips. The room went silent when I walked in. Vito's brow furrowed. What are you doing here? I ignored him and walked straight to Juliana. banana, she shrank into Vito's arms. Though her eyes blazed with defiance, I held out my hand, my voice flat. Gee,